you're doing really well. So I promised you a Pride Month tutor resource. So that is what I have done for you today. So I'm just going to talk about how it started and then some cool things that we can do to support the LGBTQ plus community. So there we go, moved on in the end. So how did Pride celebrations start? So it started in New York in 1969 in June, which is why June is Pride Month. It was at the Stonewall Inn, which was commonly known to be basically a gay bar where people from the LGBTQ plus community would hang out, would meet people. And then on the night of the 28th of June, it was raided by the police, basically unprovoked. They arrested a lot of people for no apparent reason. Several bar staff and patrons, like people who were in the bar buying drinks, people going to the bar, were arrested. And then after that, there was lots of riots afterwards because they had done nothing wrong, and they saw it as basically a hate crime for people who were openly gay. And ever since then, it's been a sort of catalyst for pride parades, for speaking out against homophobia, and that's happened all around the world now. So I just thought I'd do a little kind of history to keep moving myself around. I'll put myself here. That looks good. So a little kind of history. In 2003, in America, gay partnerships were legalized. So technically, it was illegal to be gay in America until 2003, which is crazy because that doesn't seem like that long ago to me, anyway. And then in the UK, it was much later than that. It was in 1967 that it was legal to be gay. Gay marriage in the US was legalized in 2015. And if you look at this picture, that is the White House lit up in the rainbow colors after the announcement. So that was a really, really significant day in the US. And it was the year before in the UK. Interestingly, it wasn't until this year, 2020, in Northern Ireland, that gay marriage was legalized. So before it was legal, the punishment for being gay was actually to be imprisoned. Like you'd be arrested and you'd be sent to prison. So it's really, really weird for us to think about that now. But it was literally a crime. And also, horrifically, some people had to go through corrective medicine, like take drugs to cure them of their sort of sexuality. Horrific for us to think about. I mean, you even still hear today of religious communities in America who have been sending their children to sort of be cured and go to religious camps to cure them of being gay. Obviously, horrendous for us to think about now, but it does still happen. So that's what I wanted to sort of think about. What are we doing today in 2020? My face is covering up this last bit. Never mind. So I want to sort of highlight Philip Schofield. So if you don't know who he is, he was a morning presenter. And in February this year, he came out as gay after several years. And because he's a well-known personality, he didn't feel comfortable to come out as gay before now, which is really sort of always heartbreaking for us to think about now because you would hope that anybody could be able to live how they want to openly in the world. Yet Philip Schofield didn't feel like he could do this. And when I was putting this together, I asked my partner, I was like, who are some like footballers who are openly gay? Because I wanted to put them in the presentation today. And he said he doesn't know of any because footballers are sort of worried to come out as gay because of the treatment they would receive in football clubs. So I think that's really interesting. Even in 2020, people don't feel able to come out and live how they want to. So you might recognize this poster actually. It's up in our form room, it's up in lots of classrooms in school, and it is by, if you have a look at this little bit here, it's by Stonewall. So they were the original Stonewall riots, and they promote obviously using appropriate language to talk about people from that community. If you're saying that's so gay, It's not a very nice way to talk. It's implying that being gay is a negative connotation. So I thought we would put together a similar thing like we did with George Floyd. What can we do? And again, we call it out. Yeah, if we hear something that isn't very nice about people's sexuality or something that even be classed as homophobia, we say that's not okay. And then we go and tell somebody who they can deal with it. I've also put together a little who to follow on Instagram. Again, people from the LGBTQ plus community. We've already talked about putting posters up. And I've also said wear a badge. So this is a picture of my badge that I wear on my lanyard at school. And it doesn't, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend getting this one because lots of people read it and it says Ali and they think that that's your name. And as you know, my name does begin with A, so people think that that's my name. But it says ally. Okay, an ally means you support them. So I wear that when I'm at school to show support. And the last one I said, unfortunately, I don't think there will be any this year due to Corona, but go to a Pride parade. Now, I absolutely love Pride. I grew up in Brighton. I went to school in Brighton, and literally the highlight of the year in Brighton. So this is all down Brighton seafront. Everyone's dressed up. It's an amazing atmosphere, and it just literally makes you to be alive. I know that sounds a bit extreme, but seriously, it's the best thing ever. So if you ever get a chance, go to a gay pride parade. I would especially recommend the Brighton one. It's in August in Brighton, actually, for some reason, but it is always hot and sunny. And I'm not even joking. It's never rained on Pride. Nobody can rain on the Pride parade. So I'm going to add to this, I think, but these are just a couple of people who I thought you could follow on social media and some other things we can do. So this YouTube link is to a little video clip about the history of Stonewall and the riots in New York. And I've spoken about Queer Eye before, but it's amazing. It's basically almost like a makeover show where these five guys who are gay, they go and make over men and they give them a new lease of confidence. And I even feel confident watching them do these makeovers for other people. So I would highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. But basically, I put these two guys on. When we did our Who to Follow on social media a few months ago, I put Jonathan Van Ness on because he's sort of very gender fluid. He likes to wear skirts and nail varnish, stuff like that. So he's a really cool guy. And I've also put Bobby Burke on there because recently on his Instagram page, he posted something which really spoke to me, but it was aimed at young people. So I'm going to show you that to finish with. So this is Bobby and his husband, and on Queer Eye, Bobby does the interior design and house design and makeovers. So he's really cool. But this is what he posted literally last week on his Instagram. So he says, here is a little message of hope for all those LGBTQ plus youth out there stuck in conservative communities who think that life will never get better. I once thought the same thing, but looking back at these pictures from my wedding day proves that it does get better. You will find love in both a partner and people who will love, accept, and support you. And that literally made my heart glow. And I just wanted to leave you guys with that message from Bobby. So go and have a look, watch that YouTube video I linked, see if you can find those people on Instagram and think of all those ways we can support people from the LGBTQ plus community. And I don't know, we could even do a really cool trip and we could go to a pride parade. I don't know, it's great, trust me. So anyway, have a think about that this morning and I hope to speak to you again soon.